Launch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Nick
Hi.
and Brandon.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about games and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, you finally watched that movie, Brandon. I
I
don't know.
did finally watch that movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
today.
my mom. Okay, so actually, here's the thing. My mom wanted to see like the Jackass movie
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and I didn't have it, so I just told her, there's probably gonna be a ton of penis in it. You still want to watch it?
A lot of penis.
And then
Yes.
her response was actually hilarious. She said, "Not with you in the room." And my response, Katie's response was like, "Excuse me." So that was actually really funny.
Fair. That is fair.
So that was really funny. But anyway, I said I do have Free Guy. We could watch Free Guy because I know you wanted to see that too. And so we ended up watching Free Guy.
It's a great choice.
Yeah. I surprisingly really liked this film.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, like I was taken back by the amount of actual people in like the gaming scene that they got to actually be in the movie, and how it felt realistic while still feeling like a fantasy movie at the same time. I was very surprised because Nick, have you seen this?
Free Guy?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's actually really good. But a couple examples I'll give is like for instance, when some things are happening in the game, they have like entire like Twitch chats and like YouTube videos going over like the intricacies of what's going on in the game community, kind of like you would see on like actual YouTube videos and that sort of thing. Something like, think of someone's like YouTube dedicated to like Destiny 2. And like that's what their YouTube is. There's like moments in the movie where like someone who has their YouTube dedicated to the game that is Free City, which is the game that Free Guy takes place in, is really good. It's very believable the way they did it. It's actually very funny a lot of the time. And when it's not being funny, it's like a absolute commentary on the state of the gaming industry right now in every way, shape, and form. Like, quite literally, it's just like throwing punches left and right at EA, Ubisoft, and Activision. Like, at all points and times. Like, there's no way it isn't done on purpose because of how over the top it is. I don't know if you feel the same way, Mike, but there was a lot there that was like, this feels like someone that was like a disgruntled employee at one of these businesses wrote this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's probably some one that had gotten a little bit scorned in the process of making this movie. Because, yeah, some of it's just kind of like a little bit too on the nose.
Yeah, it was definitely too on the nose in some cases. Yeah,
I loved it. Like I said, I thought it was incredible.
The main villain just outright being the president of the company and being a massive asshole. Like that guy was just. It's really sad how believable it was having played online games and seeing how they've treated their people in the past. I was like, damn, yeah, this feels real. There were like things, Nick, like, I don't give a fuck if we destroy the servers of the old game. They'll buy the sequel anyway because of brand recognition. It was like a literal plot point in the movie. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
This sounds like Destiny 2 to me in Activision.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, very, very good movie. I highly recommend watching it. Surprisingly, for a large portion of this movie, Ryan Reynolds doesn't Ryan Reynolds, in my opinion.
Okay.
So there's that, but then another portion of the film, he definitely Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Acts like Ryan Reynolds, but I think it's enough outweighing the two, and there's enough little tongue-in-cheek references that are really funny if you get things like the gaming community. If you understand things like just how bad like for instance, we've talked about with like developers and workers and the conditions of the work environment and everything, as well as the consumers, how often they get fucked over. If you're like well versed in that sort of thing, I think you'll really like this movie because it's very funny and very close to home in some cases. So yeah, great movie. I highly recommend watching it. I just kind of jumped in there with that. I drink Coke Starlight also. Nick, you said you had this one, right?
I tried it. Did you like the taste of space?
That's a loaded question. And I don't know if you're going to feel the same way I did, but you know how you did the thing where you just drank it straight from the bottle the first time?
Oh, well, that was for Pepsi.
Oh, okay. Well, I drank it straight from the bottle also. This one. And it didn't taste...
Starlight's supposed to be.
Well, let me read this to you.
Are you supposed to... Is every soda hardcore now?
Everything is like a deluxe beverage. A craft beverage.
I can't drink this beverage without a cup.
For maximum refreshment and feel like you're among the stars. That sort of thing. So
I just need ice.
What? Yeah, I just needed ice.
Or to be in like a fridge for about 35 minutes.
Or maybe
not the ones that are at Walmart though, which is where I bought it, because it's like somewhat cold, but like right in between lukewarm and cold, where it's like
not quite room temperature, but also not cold enough to be enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. So I tasted it that way, and it was actually kind of weird because it had a weird aftertaste that kind of tasted like cough syrup, and I didn't like it like at all. And then I got home and I decided to.
I peed blood.
I decided to get a red Solo cup and some ice and pour it over the ice and then drink it from that way. And when I drink it that way, it tasted good. It tasted kind of like cotton candy in some way. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll just keep drinking this. And it was weird because the more I drank it, the worse it tasted. And then I stopped drinking it. And then I came back and drank it again like 10 minutes later, and it tasted good again. And I was like, this is a fucking anomaly. I don't want this. So I didn't finish it even. And it was really weird.
Yeah, it's a thing. I don't care for it. The only soda, like the newer sodas that I like that came out recently was that Mountain Dew. Like, that's like...
The watermelon?
No, it's Mountain Dew Spark. But I even stopped drinking that. Because
the watermelon one's really good.
I looked at the sugar content on the Mountain Dew, which I would... If you're ever drinking a soda and you're enjoying it and you're fine with your life decision to drink soda, I would recommend highly to never look at the nutrition facts on the bottle. But I looked at the nutrition facts for the Mountain Dew Spark, and it has 157% of your daily volume of sugar in it.
That was your first mistake.
So I was like, oh, great. I've had like... Not 4 of these in one day, but like 4 of these in my lifetime. So.
I see. All right.
No, sodas are a lot. Yeah, I mean, on my Mango Pepsi right here, it says 14%.
Oh, no, you made the classic blunder.
What?
Of looking at the sugar.
You guys keep doing that. I'll enjoy going and pouring a nice, cold, refreshing cherry Pepsi.
I'm still going to drink it. I get gallon sizes of Baja Blast whenever I go to Taco Bell and I don't look back.
Don't look back.
No.
If you want to see something ridiculous, I would say, Nick, be sure to look at the sugar on like a Mountain Dew, and then look at the sugar on any other.
I truly believe
it's actually ridiculous.
I truly believe that a cigarette is healthier than a bottle of Mountain Dew.
It probably is at this point.
That's so difficult to weigh in on.
I mean, they can both give you heart problems.
He means an entire bottle of Mountain Dew. He doesn't mean like one of those. He means like a 2-liter. Like if you drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew in one day versus having a single cigarette ever. And you know, when you look at it that way, he might be right.
I mean, they're both bad for different reasons.
Yeah, one can kill you and the other one can kill you slower.
I'm just saying.
I don't know, they both can kill you pretty slowly depending on what you're going. I don't know why we're talking about this like medical morbidity kind of.
Because we don't have shit to talk about today.
Yeah. Tons of things.
Bullshit.
I mean,
You gotta update us on your Steam Deck buying
Oh yeah, I'll
experience.
talk about. Okay, so I'll update you on the buying experience because it has not arrived yet. So that's the long and short of it right now. So I purchased my Steam Deck back on the the fifth of like last week, Thursday.
May.
Yeah, 5th of May.
Streamo
Sorry.
de Mayo.
Yeah, I purchased
Steamo
it
de
on that
Mayo.
day. Steamo de Mayo. It shipped on Monday, the 9th.
Okay.
So that's 2 day shipping, and it now says that it'll arrive on Thursday when it said Wednesday before. But I want to talk about how the purchasing process went through because I think this is what every single console should have done, personally. So I had to be put on a queue list, just like you would if you were pre-ordering something at like GameStop, EB Games, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, any of those places. But after being put on the queue list, you then were given like an estimated time as it got closer to the release date of the item. And that way you would know like the dates between that you would be picked. So my estimated time said between April and June. Well,
Mhm.
it's May, and that's when I got picked. And now that when it came time, I got a actual pop-up notification on my computer through Steam that said, "Hey, you've been selected. It's now time for you to finish your
Go, go,
purchase."
go, go, go.
So I was then given 3 days to finish my purchase, and once I finished my purchase, after 2 days, they shipped it off. And now I just wait for it to arrive. And apparently they do like 2 day shipping, that sort of
Oh,
deal.
okay.
So like, and I was not charged for the shipping or anything like that. So coming straight from the factory, and it's being shipped out directly to me, and there was no way anyone could have taken my spot in line, and the only thing that could have happened was I could have moved forward in line if people had dropped out. So if people had dropped out and decided they didn't want to purchase their item, then you move up a spot in line. That sort of deal. And that's the way they allowed people to purchase the Steam Decks. And because of that, I didn't have to purchase a shitty fucking bundle with extra accessories that I didn't need. I got to pay MSRP for the actual item. I know when it will arrive because I'm being kept up to date on my actual Steam account on when this item will arrive to me. And not only all of that, but now that I've purchased one, I actually have the option to purchase a second one, but if I were to buy a second one, I'll be at the end of the line for my purchase. But I still have the option to do so. And I still have the option to do so at MSRP.
Okay.
Now take that and look at the shit show that is the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X. That is such a easier way to go about owning a system and to avoid scalpers because it's only limited to one per account until you have made that purchase. So because of that, the only scalped ones you're going to find out there are going to be one per account from other people, and that's people that bought them on day one.
Okay.
So those people had to make the decision of, do I actually want this for myself or do I want to sell it to somebody else? That was the decision. They didn't have the decision of, did I make 10 bot accounts and immediately buy up all of the stock that I possibly could and now no one can get them whatsoever? They didn't have that option. And because of that, I think Steam has made a much better way of acquiring new systems than the fucking big heads that console manufacturers have currently.
I mean, it's the same. What you're describing is pretty much the same method that Apple uses for their phones.
And that's a smarter idea.
Yeah,
that's
no,
just a better idea.
The only difference with the Apples when I got my new phone last time was they just have you pay up front. You can cancel before it ships. But that way you don't have like the rigmarole of when the time comes around getting everything in. It's just it's shipping now, and that's it. And they keep you updated through their app and emails and stuff. So I mean, it works. It's a nice system. It really is, and they it's the same thing too. Where they're just like, hey, this is the first window is going to be here. This is what we're shipping for this particular one right now, and it's so easy and painless.
Yep.
And they keep you in the loop. And I think I still end up getting mine like you a couple weeks earlier than I think they even like gave me like ballpark wise. So
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice system. I don't know why more people don't do it. Well, I kind of do. It's because the fucking retailers. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steam doesn't care because they're not going to take up retail space.
They fucking print money, so they don't give a shit. Yeah.
So, or if they do eventually, like it'll probably just be like some like on-demand thing, or maybe like some big things that some select stores have.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
they don't need to. But for the console makers, they have to like beg for their shelf space, so they have to play nice.
So yeah, I've been like, really, this experience has been very simple, very easy, and not stressful at all. I guess the stress initially was coming up with all the money and everything that I needed for it and its original inception. But even that, when you look at it, like, I mean, I paid what, $500-$600 for a PlayStation 5, and I paid like $500-$600 for a brand new mini PC that's a handheld, and it's like, okay. And one was a tiny bit more annoying to get because I had to go through Walmart. And I just, this is just so easy and so painless.
What I don't understand is like Sony kind of did that, right? Because like they sent out,
but then they didn't
emails.
send out those emails like anywhere near. Like the first email batch for the PlayStation 5s through Sony's weren't sent out until after they had hit retailers, and that's a big issue.
Well, no, because so what happened was like retailers had pre-orders already up, and then after the fact they sent out the link, the personalized link. It should have been like the other way around. Like if you had like, and fuck it, they have all the information. They're like, hey, you've had your account for this much time, you have first dibs on a pre-order.
Yeah, but if it was like, so I get that, but like we didn't know what way Sony did those emails. Also, it's just like you happened to get one eventually, is what I discovered with like the Sony emails for the PlayStation 5. But like here, at least with the Steam Index, and in this case, it's like I put in my order on this date. I was given this time frame of when I would be able to purchase it, and then other people that put it in on this date and this time were given this time frame, and everyone had like a understanding even from the get-go of when you would be able to purchase your Steam Deck, and that's good. Whereas Sony was like, give us your fucking email and we'll get back to you eventually. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt with Sony's PlayStation 5 thing. So like if they would have been more transparent, I guess is the word I'm looking for, with like the way they were doing their email thing, or like had like updates consistently, like monthly or weekly or whatever, I would have been like, yeah, Sony did a good job also. But at this current moment in time, no, Sony did a shit job with their
you're right.
way they did the PS5 orders.
But that's really convenient. And like, so are you gonna get like tomorrow?
It said Wednesday initially, but now it's saying that since it's being shipped via FedEx, there is a current issue because it's coming from Chicago, Illinois, and I might not get it until Thursday. But it's literally been keeping me updated on the hour at this point.
Oh, well, so, FedEx, I mean...
yeah, exactly.
They'll walk up to your door and be like, we tried, and like walk away.
Yeah. I just hope I don't have to have that kind of... I don't know if you've seen that meme where the guy got the message from, like, I think it was like Amazon. It's like, can you prove that you did not receive the item? And he just takes a picture of his hands pointing at nothing. It's like, huh?
Those are my favorite like memes. Like I saw a picture this week. It was like a picture of somebody's computer, and they're like, "Well, what does your computer look like?" And it's just the same picture again, but him pointing.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's props to companies that just like take your word for it. It's always nice. Surprisingly too, like Amazon, like I think the couple times I've had to do returns, they're like, we don't fucking care, is your money back?
That same things happen too.
Oh yeah, you go to Walmart, they take everything back. Kohl's, you're like, I bought this on Amazon. They're like, prove it, and then you'll be like, no, and they're like, damn, here's your money and your Kohl's cash.
Even there was one time I had to send my Wii system back to Nintendo for repair, and like I don't know what the fuck UPS did, but like their shipping thing was just like, oh, we don't know where this fucking package is. And so I called Nintendo, they're like, that's weird, here's another one, we'll just ship it out to you. And then both of them arrived on the same day.
Oh no.
Like, what the fuck? How does that happen? And like this is like wasn't even like within the same. It was like probably like 3 weeks later. The first one showed up with the second one, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I called Nintendo, and they're like, we've never had this happen before. I'm like, I don't know either. I don't know what you want me to do. They're like, strip the other one back. I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, returns are great. Love them.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess I did play one game and I just played it for the stream. My friend was like, he's like, I don't know what the fuck we should stream this week. I was like, neither do I. And I went and looked at the recent games I'd gotten through like PlayStation Plus. I was like, let's play Team Sonic Racing. That sounds like fun. And he looks and he's like, yeah, I didn't grab it that month. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, here's a key for Team Sonic Racing. Let's play it on PC. I'm like, oh, okay then. So we ended up playing Team Sonic Racing on PC. And Team Sonic Racing's pretty good. It's not as good as Transformed, but it's still pretty good. I kind of like it. The team aspect really, really can fuck you over when you're having to play with AI though. So it's like, ugh. But in general, there were a lot of different courses, and they were a lot of fun. There were a lot of different like shortcuts and everything. There's a lot of little things that like felt nostalgic about Sega games and like the Sonic series and whatnot, and I thought that was pretty cool. I liked the fact that Big the Cat has a fucking cart that looks like Froggy. Fucking loved that.
yeah.
That was neat. Yeah, I didn't understand how to play the game at first, and then because like there's some more intricate rules than just normal kart racing things to this one. And then when I did understand it, I like pretty much I just took off. I did really well from there on out. We actually had someone show up at like 5 in the fucking morning. He was like, "Are you guys actually playing this on Steam?" And they were like in our chat with us, and we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, can I join you?" And then they joined and played with us. And they taught us how to play the game better, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So that was a fun stream. I hadn't had one of those in a while. And before that, we had just finished streaming a game which I hate. I literally hate it. I hate it so much that I think I named my stream "Playing This Shit Game Again" as my title. No, I was playing Far Cry 6 because of the DLC. I like have a very visceral reaction to Far Cry 6. I do not like it. I don't think it's a good game. I think it's awful in every way, shape, and form. I can't think of a single good thing about that game. So, yeah. It has actually like put me off from wanting to play any other Far Cry games too, because of how bad it was. Like, okay, all right. You guys know Carlos Despacito. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah.
The guy who plays Gus Fring in Breaking Bad. So.
Oh, Giancarlo.
Yeah, there you go. Despacito or something. I don't know what it is.
Despacito is the song.
No, Despacito. Not Despacito. No, not yeah. Is it pronounced like the song, or is it pronounced in a different way?
I don't know.
Despacito with an E, no D.
Esposito. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. He's Despacito, all right?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Despacito. Okay, anyway. He's the main villain of the game for like 30 minutes. So they like ruin someone who plays a perfect villain and is really good at playing a villain by just sidelining him pretty much the entire fucking game. At some point, they're just like, I don't know, he has fucking cancer, get over it. And then it's just like, well, he's gone now. Okay, cool, fine, fuck me. And it's just bad. Yeah, Far Cry 6 sucks. And it's like, made me be like, yeah, I don't know if I care for any more Far Cry games.
Coming soon. Far Cry 7.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play it. I just don't care.
Starring Despacito. Everyone's favorite song that doesn't die.
It really doesn't.
No, it does not.
Well, that's all I have to say about that. I'm done.
That's all you got?
No
that's
more
all I
about
got.
Sonic?
No, I mean, it's a good game. I liked it. That's it.
Alright, that's fine. I guess that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk.
Okay.
I'll start by saying I finally got my ARMS amiibo.
Okay.
Looks really nice.
All right.
Just kind of crazy thinking about how much better the amiibo have gotten since they first came out. You know, we started with Marth, and now we got Min Min. Pretty nice. Although
I think you mean meth. He was meth.
Although nothing will top those Monster Hunter amiibos. Like that Monster Hunter Rise amiibos were really nice.
Mm.
But yeah, so it looks really nice. I don't have anything to do with it. I mean, I could put it in Smash, but I don't know. I like using it more for other games. I don't really care about the fighters. So I don't know. Maybe Arms too will let me scan in my amiibos. Although I'm getting the feeling Nintendo might be finally done with the amiibos. I think we're running out of amiibo steam, y'all. So
Thank God.
well, it doesn't bug you. You don't do anything with them. I like them. I think they're fun. Or at least I like it when they kind of treat them like, like a version of like a collector's edition, like figure, that you would get.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's a cool little figure, and then maybe we'll do something little in the game. That's kind of neat.
Yeah,
If
I
you
guess
want to
so.
use it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. Whatever, not a big deal. Yeah, that'll be nice. And if we don't get a Sora amiibo, I'm gonna destroy something. So not because
We probably won't.
I particularly want a Sora amiibo, but
Hmm.
if they're just like, yeah, we're just not gonna do the last one, then fuck Sora. Let's just Sora.
I mean, Disney might not let them.
Disney will literally slap Sora's face on everything.
That's not true.
There's probably like, let's see what Sora merchandise there is, Brandon.
See, here's the thing. It's two competing Japanese companies. It's fucking Square Enix and Nintendo. And then you also throw Disney in the mix, and I don't think it's going to go over so well. And I don't think they'll ever release a Sora amiibo. If they do, I'll be very surprised. But I also won't be surprised if it's like $30-$40.
That's fine. It's the last amiibo. I'll take it. So, I mean, that's fine. I don't know. They got all sorts of Kingdom Hearts merchandise on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Is it real?
Of course it is. It's Amazon.
That's not true at all. No. As a
Okay, they got fucking Funko Pops. They can do a fucking amiibo. Those are definitely legit.
They made Kingdom Hearts Funko Pops?
More than one.
Yeah, but Disney's like deep within Funko Pops, so like
That's fair. Yeah, this makes sense.
Here's like another action figure.
Yeah, they did make Funko Pops. You're right. Let's see. Well, some expensive ones too.
Oh, there's a third Sora Funko Pop.
Yeah, I see the Funko Pop. Shut up.
No, I'm just saying I found another one. Oh, there's a fourth one.
I literally typed in Kingdom Hearts Funko Pops, and 6 of them appeared on the first page.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So no, I just typed in like Kingdom Hearts merchandise, and that's just what's popping up on Amazon. But it's not putting them all together, so I'm just seeing as I'm going. But yeah, no, that's so if they can't do an amiibo, but they can do a shit ass Funko Pop, then fuck Sora.
Yeah, that's fair. They'll probably do an amiibo.
Yeah.
And it'll probably become one of the most valuable ones, so buy it.
I'm sure it will. Well, I probably won't beat QB though. QB's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, how much is QB?
I don't know. We checked it a couple weeks
Oh
ago.
no, you know what? I bet it will, and you know why? I bet it'll only be sold on the Square Enix shop.
You think?
Square Enix likes to do that with like limited edition goods. They like to do that a lot.
Yeah, we'll see. They might. I mean, QB was Japanese only, so I mean, that's super limited.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with the arms, the Min Min amiibo quality. So
That's good.
Yeah, there's those new Monster Hunter amiibos. I guess they had like a direct or something today for Monster Hunter or some sort of showcase. Probably not an actual direct. For the new Monster Hunter Rise DLC, which I guess looks good. I don't know. You got Rise, right? Did you ever talk about it?
I have Rise, yeah.
Was it good?
I have it on PC, and yes, it's very good.
Okay.
It works very well, and it's a lot of fun. It's basically the best of original Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, something like the 3DS Monster Hunters combined with Monster Hunter World and all the like updates and little quality of life improvements that game had. And then it even has more improvements on top of that with like the zip line, being able to zip line anywhere and that sort of deal. And it's like, okay, this is a good game. This is a very good game.
I keep on thinking about trying. I saw it was on sale this week, and I was like, maybe. But then I was like, the new one's coming out. I'm sure they'll bundle them together.
Yeah, I would wait for the. I mean, I only got it because I got it for like cheap. Like, it was on sale.
I figured I'd wait until the bundle together.
Hello! Maybe, like, it is on sale right now, actually.
No, I know. It was like $30, I think.
I see. Yep, it is indeed $30. But
then I saw like the DLC's like what, 40?
It's so the way Monster Hunter does its DLC is it's more like an expansion pack. So I don't know if it'll be bundled together, but you'll probably be able to get the game for cheaper and then pay $40 for the expansion. Because most of the time that's what Capcom does.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunbreak. There it is. Comes out June 30th.
Yeah. I'll probably still wait until they're both on sale then. Let's see. Yeah, but I mean, it looks nice. Figure I'll give Monster Hunter another try. It's been a while.
Did you like Monster Hunter World, or did you ever play it?
Didn't play Monster Hunter World. The last
Okay.
one I played was Monster Hunter Prime.
Okay.
Whatever
Yeah.
one was on the Wii.
Okay, so Monster Hunter World really vastly improved on a lot of Monster Hunter things, but it also cut a lot of corners and like cut out many of the things that a lot of Monster Hunter fans really liked about Monster Hunter to make it a much more streamlined experience. And then Monster Hunter Rise was like, well, what if we did that, but also gave them the content they wanted back as well? And that's what Monster Hunter Rise is basically.
Sounds reasonable. I mean, I didn't have a like. I don't know. I actually played quite a bit of Monster Hunter Try, and I liked it. I just didn't.
Yeah, but you know how like you had like sections of the thing, and it's like loading screen and everything.
Yeah,
Rise has no loading screens. Once you
Okay.
get into the quest, it's just open world. There you go. Go do it.
Pretty nice. Yeah, that was always kind of annoying because it'd be like you chase a monster for like 0.3 seconds, then you're like on to the next screen because you're just following it through one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like quadrants, which tells you like the kind of area of land that you'll be in, but there's not loading screens in between them anymore.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. And like I said, I like when I played Try. I had a hard time keeping my attention. So I don't know. I'll give it another try and see at some point. Yeah. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, my excitement this week was Star Fox. I played my favorite Star Fox game again.
Which one?
Star Fox 2. Fucking love that game.
Okay,
I think the more time that goes on, the more I love that game. It is such a masterpiece.
I know you like to play devil's advocate. But why I had to be like, which Star Fox did you play that's your favorite?
Star Fox 2.
I know, but if you would have said something like, "Oh yes, the one on the Wii U," I would have been like, "Might hit you."
Oh no! I mean, I don't have a Star Fox game that I hate. But I would say like I don't know. They're all different. Like I like them for different reasons.
I think the Wii U one is like not only one of the worst Star Fox games, but like one of the biggest missteps in making a game that I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's my current thought on that game is like I like it, and I was actually since I had my Wii U on recently, I was actually thinking about like finding my Wii U gamepad and like trying it out again. Because I enjoyed some of the stuff with it. But you're right, it does have a misstep, and my current thought on that game is like I actually kind of wish they would do a Switch port and just be like, hey y'all, we fucked up. Here we go, we fixed the controls, so it's a better experience for everyone instead of the few people that enjoyed the controls. And here you go, enjoy. Because at its core, like if you can get behind the controls, it is a really fun game. Like it is a well built Star Fox game. Just most people can't get around the fucking controls. And I can't blame them. Like I enjoyed it when I was doing well with the controls, but it is kind of just a lot to wrap your head around. Watching the TV, watching the screen, using the gyro, aiming with the screen, not the direction you're flying, and it's a lot. Probably great for a 2-player mode. Like if you want to play it that way, sure. One person flies, one person shoots. That'd be kind of fun. But just for like a single player, they just they missed the mark on that. I think. Like for 90% of the people that played that game. So
yeah, I hated it.
yeah. I do think that the Wii U gamepad stuff worked well for whatever that side game was that came with it. The Slippy's kind of battle tower thing. But yeah, no, like I said, I kind of hope that they'll just go back through and be like, hey, we spent all this money on Star Fox Zero. Instead of making a new one for the system, let's port it over and just get a quick fix out of Star Fox and see how it does this way with improved whatever. But yeah, no, my least favorite Star Fox game is the original Super Nintendo one. I just don't really like that one. Not it's bad. It's classic.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never liked it, but I also didn't hate it.
Yeah, I think it's probably good. It's just kind of there.
It's there. Yeah. It's cool. It's like for the novelty of it with like the whole like FX chip thing. Like that's neat. But like, it's a game.
Yeah, but I think that's my thing with Star Fox 2 though. I think that's part of the reason why I'm so surprised because it's also a Super Nintendo game. So I'm just kind of wowed with what they're able to like put together on a Super Nintendo like cart. But it kind of gives me that ActRaiser vibe because it is like a mix of two genres. It's got that whole strategy aspect, and then it's got that whole like Star Fox like exploring
Oh,
like
okay.
stuff.
Yeah, that kind
Did
of
you
makes
guys ever
sense.
play it? I can't
Star Fox
remember.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played both the one that's on the Super Nintendo Classic,
Hmm.
and I also played the ROM back before it was on the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah. No, I mean it's honestly it's like an incredible game for its time.
Oh
It
yeah, it's
really
great.
is. Yeah. Because it had that aspect, just to explain for our listeners, where you're given like a map of like the galaxy, and like it's randomly generated basically every time. They'll be like, hey, well, they'll some things will be set. Like they'll be like, oh, here's some battle cruisers. Those are going to be there, and then depending on the mode, a certain amount of planets are going to be taken over from the beginning. But then just be like you'll be heading to a planet, and they'll be like, oh, here's Star Wolf. He's here to attack you, and then be like, oh fuck, we're gonna send out a virus to infect your space station, and then oh, we're gonna take over this other planet, or oh, we're gonna send out this mini boss to fight you, and it can fucking wreck you. Like, easy is easy. Like you should be able to get through that. But
Mhm.
I unlocked expert the other day, and the game was just like, yeah, no, we're fucking your shit up. You are winning. And no, it's just incredible, and just the way things come together, and just kind of the things. I did have like a really fun thing because I was going through and I was collecting the medals to unlock a locket, which is not super hard. It's not like the medals in like Star Fox 64 where it's like challenges. It's like here's like a coin that we hidden in this level. Just get it
Mm.
and then move on or whatever. And so I was collecting them for probably a couple hours, and then I get to like this last part of the last stage that I needed for a medal on hard difficulty, and then the game just hard crashes on me.
Mhm.
Not so actually no, probably I wouldn't call it hard crash. It's weird. So I go into this room, and then all of a sudden, my like ship just starts drifting to the right, like a controller just kind of unplugged, and it just crashes into the wall. Game is still running, and so it shoots the ship, it blows it up, and then it just kind of goes back to like the end credits scene, whatever. Like, oh, you lost, whatever. And so I'm like, okay. So I get up and I'm just like, I pick up the switch out of the dock, and then the screen just goes black, and it's just like switch is crashed. It will
Oh
reboot
wow.
when you hit the power button. I'm like, that's the weirdest thing. It's like it was dead, but until I picked it up, it was just pretending to still be running. So I was like, okay, interesting. But the fun thing that comes with that is the same thing that happened with what we talked about in the N64 Paper Mario.
Mhm.
That if you do not properly exit out of the online emulator, it does not back up your data. So all the save data they had amassed over that 2 hours was instantly lost. So it's so annoying. I do not know. I'm sure someone could explain to me why there's not a way that they could do this, if there is not a way that they could do this. But I really would like to understand why, when you
Sure.
save in the game, it does not save it to your actual save data and just keeps it in like floating memory until you exit. So annoying. But it didn't stop me. I pretty much the next day I went back in the game. I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna go blow some shit up.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's Star Fox. And I've been really itching to play some of the other Star Fox games lately too. I kind of want to play Adventure again.
Adventure is one I actually really want to play. I'm thinking of I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm thinking of whenever I get my Steam Deck, installing Dolphin emulator
Hmm.
and playing it on there. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, people give Adventure a lot of shit, but I really like that game. I
I
mean,
want
it's
to play Adventure
Mhm.
Dinosaur Planet. Is that what it was originally called? I also want to play that because
Yeah.
I know the emulator of that, like the ROM of that,
a
exists now.
yeah. It's not finished, but you can play like a good chunk of it if I
I
remember.
think
I remember we
I
talked
think
about it.
some of the community rebuilt it, like fixed the broken code, which
Oh,
made
really?
some more of it work. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I think I read something about that.
Yeah, I remember they were able to see like a lot of stuff that was not like I think they were able to see like the two character aspect that wasn't a part of the game anymore. It was kind of like teased about
Hmm.
originally. And you could see more of what like those little stone totems do instead of just like teleporting you. So there's a lot of new aspects. It'd be interesting to see. It's kind of wild what they were able to get together with the original development stuff. So I mean, I am happy with Star Fox Adventures, and I think it's something that they could do. If if anyone ever wanted to tackle another Star Fox Adventures and kind of think about it more properly from like beginning to end instead of like shoehorning it into like another
Mhm.
game, like I think they could do something really cool with it and make like a nice idea. Like remember that whole rumored like Star Fox Metroid crossover game?
No.
You don't remember hearing about that? It was like a
I
huge
remember that.
rumor one year. Yeah, they're like, there's a rumor that's like Rare's working
Wait,
on
no,
this
I
Star
remember the
Fox
F-Zero one. That's the one I remember.
No, the one I heard was Star Fox Metroid. And it
No,
was
I
like
didn't hear about the crossover.
I don't remember that one. I remember the F-Zero one, the
yeah, it
racing
was
one.
supposed to be like an adventure style game where like Samus and the Star Fox team like work together and there's like all these flying sections where you play as like the Star Fox team and then like the on ground sections were like Samus. And it's I don't know, I think it's a pretty wild concept. Like I think it could be something fun. You did get a little bit of crossover with Star Fox Command because one of the endings is literally like Fox and Falco quit Star Fox and become F-Zero racers.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that, and in F-Zero there is a racer. It's called Fox McCloud, or no, James McCloud. Sorry, James McCloud. Supposed to be like Dad, and he kind of looks like Fox, and his ship kind of looks like a modified R-wing. But I don't know. I just wish that they would just do like good Star Fox game. We do not need another fucking reboot. Who gives a fuck about the story? Just make one up. I don't know. You don't need Andros. Just do something similar. Assault was pretty good too. I liked some of the stuff they did with Assault. Yeah, just make a nice Star Fox game. I don't know. It's weird because it's like Star Fox 64 and the original did very well, but for some reason every time a new Star Fox game comes around, they're like, let's just fucking reboot this shit. Do something wild. Star Fox 2, I mean, pretty different because it's like half strategy, half what the original game was. But then you have like Adventures, like a Zelda-like game, which I said I would like to see him do it again. Just kind of think more about like the Star Fox aspect of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could integrate more into that if you really wanted to. You got Assault, which is more close to 64, but they added like a lot of on-foot sections, which some people just were not too fond of. I thought they worked okay. It had a great multiplayer mode, fucking rad multiplayer mode. Then you had Command, which was kind of more strategy, like closer to Star Fox 2, but it was also kind of weird because it used like only stylus controls. Sort of interesting choice. Then you got Star Fox Zero, where it's like, hey, let's fuck up the controls and make it wild, but we'll make it close to 64, so maybe people will be happy. But we gotta have a gimmick in there. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll get something eventually. I hope so.
Eventually.
Yeah. But that's all my Star Fox rant. I don't think I can rant any more about it. Unless you guys have any Star Fox things you want to talk about.
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. I don't know, Nick. It's up to you. This is all you.
Is it just me?
Your last hope. Yeah.
I saw a movie.
Yeah.
I did. I saw Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
So before we started the podcast, Brandon, you said you had like a question.
Yeah. I guess my first question is it actually good?
Yes.
Okay.
It is good. I made a weird a funny observation. So, for those of you who don't know, this film is directed by Sam Raimi, who most Marvel people probably know from the original Spider-Man trilogy.
But I know him from one of my favorite movies ever.
I was getting there. Which is hailed to be one of the best MCU Spider-Man things, which I disagree with, but hey, whatever. I know him more so from Army of Darkness as well as Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah, there we go.
I also think he did Man Without a Brain. I don't know. Either way, Sam Raimi has a very specific style of his movies, and it seems like they gave him a little bit more fun with this one than normal. So like what I mean by that is like Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 had like maybe the slightest of horror elements, if you can call them that. And what I kind of talk about with that is, I mean, like, I think it's in the first Spider-Man when the Green Goblin throws his grenade up on the balcony and like all three of the dudes just become skeletons and just drop down.
Yeah.
I won't call that horror. There's a word for that, but I don't know what it is in my vocabulary. And like the same thing kind of goes for like the scenes in Spider-Man 2 where Doc Ock is like fucking the doctors up in the thing, trying to cut the arms off of him.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of
that's like brutal. That's like, that kind of brutality. Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
It's a little bit twisted. It's not like something you would normally expect to see in a,
So
you know,
what I
superhero
will
movie.
say, to give a spoiler-free review of this movie, you definitely get a lot of Sam Raimi DNA in it, which obviously makes sense because he's the one directing it. My only complaint about the movie is that it's not a Doctor Strange movie, really.
Mm,
It's not a Doctor Strange movie in the same sense of how Captain America Civil War wasn't a Captain America movie.
hmm
Like the characters in it, and there's a lot of scenes with Doctor Strange, but I would more so liken this, and maybe it would have been better if it had been more so focusing on Wanda, but this is more a Scarlet Witch movie than it is a Doctor Strange movie.
Maybe they still feel like they couldn't fill seats if it was the female heroes movie, which is not just true anymore. It's just not true.
Well, she's not a
WandaVision kind of
hero.
proved that.
She's not a
Well, I
hero.
meant like sh- quote unquote superhero. You know what I
Yeah.
mean by that? Like that sort
Yes.
of thing.
Um,
Because
but
like
there's
Black Widow flopped, but it flopped because it was a bad film,
oh yeah, Black Widow
not
just
because
oh yeah.
it was Black Widow.
Yeah. So so yeah, it was more a Scarlet Witch movie than anything. Which is not necessarily a bad thing because if you have watched all of the WandaVision TV show, you're probably like, what's Wanda up to these days? Um, so I will say that my other complaint is more so about the lead up to the release of the movie is that they showed way too much in the trailers. There
See,
are minimal surprises left to the movie if you have seen past the first announcement trailer.
let's see. Okay.
And some of the other surprises are more like, oh, I thought that was going to be this, not this. So, more like misleading. But like, I won't say in like a bad way because I feel like misleading has a negative connotation to it.
hmm
Um, but I thought it was really good, honestly. There's two post-credit scenes. The first one kind of matters. The second one does not matter at all.
Mm.
Um, I mean, do you have any questions about it?
Well, you already said it was good, and that was one of the main questions I had.
Oh, I will say
So like,
too, only because it's a very mild spoiler, but it's also not a spoiler if your brainstem is attached to the rest of your body. That glowing figure was not, is not, and was never going to be Superior Iron Man in the trailer. People like kept putting a rumor around that the glowing person flying was Superior Iron Man, which is supposed to be played by Tom Cruise. And that rumor I probably saw like twice a day, and
weird.
it was never him. It was never going to be him. So. But I will say you do get some new people, some of which have never been in a modern MCU movie before.
Okay.
So take that for what you will. Um, but yeah, it was good. It was entertaining. The everything felt fine. Like it was not a bad movie, which is why like these mixed bag reviews I thought were a little confusing because it's not really a mixed bag. It's like it's pretty straightforward actually, more so like people are like, oh, it's all over the place, and like no, like the plot line is actually pretty linear.
Okay.
I feel like they just kind of get caught up trying to catch all of the Easter eggs and things that they plant because like as the name implies, this is the multiverse of madness, so like there's things kind of hiding in plain sight
Mm.
from like Marvel history. And people
hmm
are trying to pick that all apart, I feel, and like they spend more time trying to analyze the movie than they do watch the movie. So it kills their enjoyment. But if you liked, I would say if you liked Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man No Way Home,
I
then
did.
you will enjoy this movie. It's not on the same hype levels, I will
hmm
say.
I
Um,
liked. So here's the other thing. I really like Doctor Strange just in general. So it's kind of
yeah.
sucks that it's not necessarily a Doctor Strange movie,
So
but like I get that.
I say that because I feel like there's not a lot of progression with Doctor Strange's story as much as there is like he's just kind of he's there, he's doing things that are interesting and finding things out that are interesting.
hmm
But he throughout the movie more so acts as like the how should I word this? He's more so trying to stop Wanda from doing things.
Mm.
So like he's just kind of running around, but like it's enjoyable. It's not like it's a slog or anything like that. And like I said, you will definitely point out, you especially should be able to like pinpoint like the specific things that I'm talking about that are Sam Raimi-esque and like the way he shoots scenes.
Like the like the tree scene from Evil
Yeah,
Dead, essentially,
like if
something
you've
like
seen
that.
any of his like super zoom in
Mm-hmm.
scenes, like that's here. Slow mo he uses, and then some of the like the campy horror shit is even in this.
Okay, all right, nice.
Which I mean you can kind of gather from the trailer. Have you seen all of the trailers?
No, I've only
Okay,
seen a single one.
okay, perfect. Um, so I don't know what you know and what you don't know, but what I will say, there are things in this movie that you're like, oh, that makes sense, a lot of sense for Sam Raimi to dip into.
Well, see, here's the one issue that we got. I haven't seen WandaVision yet, and I'm pretty sure that is
Um,
needed.
so no, I will say no.
Are you sure?
I will give you, yeah, because the consequences of WandaVision, right? The
Mm-hmm.
ending of WandaVision is kind of referenced in the movie, and
Okay.
will give you a very mild spoiler as to what's going on in WandaVision.
Okay.
But I will say that like the only main couple of things from WandaVision that pour over into this,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can watch the movie and those things can be taken at face value with not a lot of backstory.
Okay.
So, yeah, 'cause I'm trying to think. There's a couple of things, but it's nothing really. I mean, you might be confused a little bit about it, but like it
Mm-hmm.
won't be like you won't be lost. It'll just be like, oh, okay, so that's a thing, and cool. So it won't be you won't be too lost.
Okay.
But as far as Marvel movies go, it's not in my top five Marvel, but like I feel like the top five of Marvel is a completely different echelon from the rest of their movies. But it's also like
What's your
I'd
top five
say
Marvel?
it always changes because I never can remember it off the bat. But like it's like a fluid top five of like Guardians 1,
Mm-hmm.
Civil War.
Yep.
Um, Not a lot of people like it, but I really enjoy Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Um,
You didn't say Iron Man 3, so that's okay.
no, Iron Man 2 I like so more so for the scenes.
Okay.
I also
I mean,
learned
I
something
don't like
today about
Iron
the
Man
movie.
3 at all. I think it's one of the
Yeah.
worst Marvel movies ever
Um,
made.
what else? I mean, Spider-Man, No Way Home, I think is a top five Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'll say like to rank this movie is more so to rank it in like the Marvel movies that are off the beaten path of like the normal formula. So
Mm-hmm.
like this gets roped into it's as good in my opinion as Thor Ragnarok is.
Okay. Oh, Ragnarok's good though. I
Yeah,
really like
Ragnarok
that
is one of my
one.
top five because Ragnarok is fantastic.
Okay.
I think usually I say like Guardians 1's my favorite, Ragnarok is my two, Civil War is my three.
I think
Um, I tend to
my
forget them
favorite
too.
is probably either Civil War or what is the other one? Winter Soldier. Ooh, Winter Soldier's
Oh,
so
Winter
good.
Soldier's really good. That's what I'm saying. So like,
But
oh
Winter
no,
Soldier's
not
also
Civil
kind
War.
of like off
So
the beaten path,
Winter
you know?
Soldier is the one I like, not Civil War. Civil War's fine, but like Winter Soldier's much better. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those movies that's like it's not rinse repeat Marvel.
Hmm.
It's outside of the realm,
Yeah, that's how
and
I
I
feel about both Civil War and
so I
Winter
think you'll
Soldier.
enjoy it. I don't like you won't be disappointed. I don't think you'll come back. Like, let's say you go out tonight and watch it, like you won't come back like next week, like Nick, what the fuck, this sucked. Um, but yeah, it
Okay.
was. I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I would see it again in the theaters.
Okay. Neat.
So yeah.
Well,
If there's any other questions, I can move on.
no, nothing else. We're good.
Gotcha. I pretty much did nothing else
Okay.
at all. Um, yeah, no, I did really nothing else. So I did talk to one of my friends though, and I might be able to hop on with him soon. He started playing Returnal at my recommendation,
Ooh.
which excited me. And I was like, "Hey, you know that game's two player now?" And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Fuck yeah!" So I think one of these days, me and him might hop on and try the multiplayer out in that. But like, it was really
So
cool
the
because
multiplayer
like,
is the entire single player.
yeah,
That
um,
that I wish you could do the roguelike aspect in
yeah.
multiplayer. That would be so good.
So
But you can't.
he started playing it, and I was like, "Hell yeah!" I recommended you that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's a tiny victory.
And I
for me.
recommended to everyone that
You did.
game.
You did.
It's one of my favorites.
So it's a
from
chain.
this
It's a chain
new
reaction from you
generation.
to me.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. But yeah. Other than that, I didn't really do much of anything worth noting.
Let's see.
Yeah. Ready to talk about news?
Yep, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, news us.
All right, it's time for news.
Bye.
All right, so first bit of news I wrote here. I wrote two things of news. Xbox servers were out for days due to DRM that didn't allow people to play any games on the system. So
Like
let me
nothing?
clarify this. I've looked a little bit further into it. If you had a disc, you could play your game. If you had any digital downloaded games, they were not playable on the system whatsoever. Single player included.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and everyone started a whole thing and gave Microsoft a lot of shit for it. Apparently went out twice during the weekend, and it was for long, substantial periods of time. And everyone started questioning Microsoft DRM policies, being like, if you're so, adamant about wanting to preserve things and this, that, and the other, and being a for the people, then why the hell do you make it so people can't play their single-player games without
Fair
internet?
question.
Yeah.
So
Does
they've
it, like,
stated
check
that
the status of the game like every single time you boot it up?
yes. Apparently that is something that happens every single time you boot it. It is checked, and as such, if you boot it without internet and it's a digital game, don't matter. Like how long the internet's been out, you don't get to play it no more.
That's some shit.
Yeah.
So that sucks really bad.
I was gonna say that I feel like that makes sense only for one thing, and that would be any game you downloaded from Game Pass.
100% makes sense. These were games that people owned, like they purchased, with money.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you bought a digital game and you downloaded it, I feel like that key
should be stored in the system or something.
It should be stored. Yeah, it shouldn't be have to be verified you bought it.
That's what I think too.
So yeah,
like it should be attached to your account, and then your account should be able to read that you already have it if you go into offline mode. That's what should happen. And then the only people that don't have access to it should be the people that are playing on the system but aren't the account that initially bought said digital title. That's what Nintendo does, surprisingly. So, yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why that's a thing, but they got a lot of backlash this last weekend because of that thing in general. And I think it's pretty shit, to be completely fair. I think it's really shit that they do that.
I mean, it's annoying because like
awful.
I think it's also especially annoying because we've been down this route with them before. They didn't announce it to the public this time, so now it's like I feel like to a degree not shittier, but it seems a little bit more underhanded than
it really does. I totally agree with that. Yeah. So that's a thing that happened. And then we got some other news here. So whoever wrote this, you want to go over this news? The not E3 schedule? What the hell?
Oh yeah, the not So there's been some events, some streaming events that have been announced outside of E3 since E3 is not even happening this year.
Okay.
So the only thing we have of substance so far, because there's Day of the Devs and there's also Tribeca Game Spotlight. So meh. Summer Games Fest starts June 9th.
Okay.
At 2 p.m. ET. So that's for us. Fuck anybody else who's not in Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah, get full.
So it's gonna be a cross-industry showcase. If there's anything like last year, I feel like it's gonna be like just a taste of what the rest of the people are gonna announce. If there's other things, so the other thing is Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase is on June 12th.
Okay.
At 1 p.m. Which would be what was it? A little bit more exciting, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're okay.
That's what a 90-minute presentation they're saying.
Yeah, so those are the only ones that are announced to be happening so far. I don't believe there's going to be an EA Play this year whatsoever.
Good. They don't need one.
Which
they can just go away.
In passing news, they did lose or drop, or however you want to say it, their FIFA license. So now all their future FIFA games are going to be EA Sports FC,
Mm-hmm.
Foosball Club. So there's that. But yeah, there won't be an EA Play this year. I would also imagine there might not be like any Ubisoft anything.
Actually, EA did announce something though. For streaming. They announced a deep dive into the Dead Space remake
Oh well,
confirmed
yeah,
for May 12th.
and
So
that's
in a
fine.
few days.
Yeah, actually, in
What,
2 days.
the deep dive is on the 12th, you're saying?
Yeah, so they're supposed to be
Okay.
like showing a lot more footage and that
It's
sort
I
of
think it's
stuff. And
specifically a art stream too.
is it?
Like it's like an art designer or something alongside to do with like the art of the game, which is
Ah,
that's
yes, it
fine.
says the art design.
Yeah,
Live stream is titled "Crafting the Tension." It plans to offer a deep dive into various aspects of the upcoming game's design and direction. It will take place at 10 a.m. PT, 1 p.m. ET, and 6 p.m. GMT on Thursday, May 12th.
yeah.
So by the time you hear this, it already has happened.
And honestly, I like these little developer things. I think it's neat personally. I
Yeah,
don't watch them to their full extent. I kind of like skim through and I look for
yeah, I like looking at the highlights and that sort of thing.
yeah, because I don't got that kind of time. But like as far as showing off the like what they're actually doing, the work that they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, no other events have been announced so far.
Okay.
Whether or not, I mean, we could get a Nintendo thing, we could get a PlayStation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now that Xbox has announced their event, whatever, you'll have a response from Sony. But Nintendo could be like, "Hey, tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think that Sony and Nintendo, at the very least, were originally planning on E3 being
Yeah,
something before it got canceled. So odds are they were planning on something or putting something together for that time. Sony is probably more likely to keep that like plan. Nintendo's just gonna be like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna do whatever we want now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which I don't
maybe
know
they'll
when
do what they
their
normally do, but
I don't know when their direct was last summer.
they usually do, and I think the Tuesday.
Okay,
I want to say it's like the first actual day of E3 because I think E3 is usually like what Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So
something like
everyone
that.
used to go on Monday, and then it turned into Sunday, Monday. But Nintendo would always just be that Tuesday morning before the show actually started.
Correct.
Mm.
Um, so who knows? Maybe they'll keep it there and just be like, "Hey, this is what we were planning on doing anyways. It still fits perfectly into our schedule." But again, as Nintendo's, they could just be like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna put it out whenever we want." So
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised if we still got something within that June July time frame.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So because they probably will still want something out just to kind of like re-highlight the stuff that's coming out in June, like Mario Strikers and
Well, when does
Fire
Mario
Emblem.
Strikers come out? Like when's that date?
Ooh, good question. I think Strikers comes out first that month, right?
I think so too.
Because I would
And
say
then
that's probably a good margin of like when they're gonna do it.
June 10.
Yeah, so I mean, probably I would assume the week prior or maybe the week after because they'll be like, "Hey, this just came out. Go buy it."
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
here's a 5-minute overview trailer of the game that just came out.
Yeah, so either a week before or a week after.
Yeah. Then a week after would make sense because that would be when they normally do it, which would be probably around June 13th, 14th. So, yeah. And then Fire Emblem, I think, is the week after that, like somewhere in the 20s. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Regardless, we'll hear something soon. But who knows? Maybe Nintendo will announce like an exciting new game at the Indie Direct this week. They'll be like, hey guys, you want a Donkey Kong? Here we go. Made by indie
Not
developers.
happening. Jesus Christ, that's not how indie directs work. Unless it's like partnered with someone like fucking they did with Hyrule. Fuck, what was
It's
that
fine.
game called?
Cadence of Hyrule.
In several.
Yeah, that's the one.
Be like, hey y'all, you love Untitled Duck Goose Game.
Yeah.
So, brought to you from the developers, here's a brand new Mario game starring Chris Pratt.
Oh my God, it's a
Yeah,
Louis
that's it.
Ryan game.
And it's just Untitled Goose Game, except it's Mario and he just runs around stealing shit from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, and it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
talking in a Brooklyn accent.
Hey.
Walking E.
I'm walking here as he's like stealing shit. Actually, I like this game. Let's just do it. Let's just make it.
Mm-hmm.
Mario, give me back. Actually, no. Everyone else will probably talk to him like they do in like the Mario and Luigi games, where they'll be like, "I'm
Mm-hmm.
even a Brecci," and he'll be like, "I'm walking here."
I'm walking here.
Oh, baby, chibi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Or who knows? Maybe we'll get a new Star Fox indie game. That actually, there's always been indie developers who've been trying to do like those kind of like B tier Nintendo games,
Yeah.
Yes.
like Star F-Zero. I don't know why they have not bit on F-Zero yet. Like that honestly seems like something
They should
that,
just let the indie developers that made that one game that's like F-Zero that was a launch title on the Switch. You remember what I'm talking about? That was
I
actually
believe
really
so.
good. Huh?
yeah.
I believe so.
I
What was
know
it called?
exactly which one you're talking. I don't know the name, but
Hold
I
on.
feel like that game they even were hey Nintendo, can we make an F-Zero game? And they were like, I don't know if it was that one. One of them was, and they were like, no. And so then they're just like, all right,
All right,
fine.
I'm looking at it now. Hold on a second. I'm looking to find out what the game. Yeah, Fast RMX.
Oh, wait, was that Fast RMX or what was the other one? That was Fast Racing Neo.
That's the original. Fast RMX is the one that's on Switch as a launch title.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that developer could make an F-Zero game, and Nintendo would just be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Pretty much never.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised. Could be.
Maybe.
Anything. Yeah.
It'd be pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of pretty neat.
Yeah, let's talk about this last bit of information. This is actually really cool. Yeah, so the original Duke Nukem Forever leaked over the weekend.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one from 2001. Yeah,
I was wondering what that was.
it's completely playable right now. So there is a normal build that leaked. There's the E3 build that leaked, which allows you to play like the E3 level that they showed off in its entirety. Then there is the patched build that leaked, and every single one of them, they may not have all the correct like enemy spawns or even any in some of the maps, but you can explore every single map. You can finish the game from start to finish, but like obviously there's going to be glitches and everything because it was like 90% complete, not like
Yes.
100. But you can explore the entire game without like it kicking you out or that sort of thing, from start to finish in every level. You might have to use some like programmer things such as like no clip and that sort of deal to get through certain doors, but you can go through the entirety of the original Duke Nukem Forever right now. It was leaked over the weekend.
I wonder if it's better than the one that Gearbox made.
It's way better. It's actually way better. Like even just I had prepared this for when you would inevitably
I prepared
say
a
this.
speech.
No. I prepared this video for when you would actually ask this question. So under general, I have posted the video. This is one of the levels of the thing. It's in 720p because that's what the game launches in.
Yeah.
Slick Willy.
That's the name of the level.
It's just black. Oh, there we go.
But basically, they pretty much recreated the entirety of all the E3 demo like things and uploaded them here. And all the guns work really well. It seems like in general there's a lot of good feedback. This is something that definitely should have been released, but as other people pointed out, the developer was too full of his own shit to release it, more or less.
I mean, it looks good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a better game in every way, shape, and form than the game we got.
It does. I played that game one time and I was like, well,
yeah, that's enough of that.
a
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
more people would be pissed off about this than me.
Yeah, I was one of them, because I had it pre-ordered since a very long time, and then I ended up actually getting it, and I was like pretty happy about it, and I liked the little bust that it came with, but it was resin and it was very poorly put together, and it broke in like a month, so that kind of sucked. But in general, not very good.
No.
I told myself for about a month that it's not that bad, and then I was like, nah, actually, it's pretty fucking terrible.
It's terrible.
And then I played the DLC, which I don't know if you ever played the DLC because pretty much everyone gave up on the fucking game, but the DLC was better than the original game.
Oh, there was DLC.
There was DLC for it, and it was actually very tongue in cheek, and it was very well made. And yeah, but this little leak, which has been confirmed by the original developers, yeah, this is real. How'd you get that? That it just looks like a way better experience.
I mean,
So
it's still impressive that it ended up coming out.
like the Gearbox version.
Just any version of Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, it is, I guess. So there have been several rumors now formed around this leak, such as why the hell does someone in 2022 have a original nearly fully complete build of this game?
Oh yeah.
And several people have made the assumption, even some people in the gaming like developer community, that this was done on purpose to gauge interest, much like what was done with the Deadpool movie, to see if it's worth actually putting this out in the state that it originally was in, and giving Duke Nukem, like trying to give him like another life, that sort of thing, by releasing the original version of the game, like in the future. And looking at this and looking at all the throwback games we've been getting lately, such as like Ion Fury and like Dusk and Nightmare Reaper and all these things, I think it's 100% worth releasing. Like if there was a finished version of this game, and like the developers have worked on what's here in the code and that sort of thing, and like have a even more finished version of this that can be like fully playable with like the enemy spawns and the weapon pickups and this, that, and the other, I think this is worth releasing if it was like completed, because it looks like it would be a lot of fun. Like release this is like a $20 download or something. There you go. You're gonna make a ton of money just off the people that are like interested in this in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would do well enough.
I think so too. I would buy it.
I mean, yeah, I would give it a try.
So yeah, that's all I've got for this. But yeah, I think it looks really cool, and I probably will end up downloading it.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild when stuff like this comes out. I'm like, hey, we've been sitting on this secret thing for a while. Well, I don't know. I guess it kind of even goes back to Star Fox 2. It always
Well,
just
that's the
mind
thing.
like,
It leaked on 4chan.
I know.
So this is the case of we've been sitting on this. This is a case of where the fuck did you get that?
But still, I'm just saying, like, it's like developers though they finished it and they're like, hey, here's this thing that we've been just had some reason why we didn't put it out or whatever.
Yeah.
In this case, it was Gearbox decided to get involved in Metal.
Yeah.
But even with Star Fox 2, they're like, hey, we finished it, and they're like, no, let's just
shelve that.
Just shelve it. And then you get in cases where it's like Star Fox 2, they're like, hey, 20 years later, and this too, I guess even they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe people would be interested in this. But also, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of like the novelty of it. Like just sticking on the shelf actually makes it more interesting than if it actually came out at that time. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's definitely the story that actually makes this more interesting now. It probably would have just been forgotten, because I think if this would have released, it would have been like literally days before Half-Life. And when you stack it up against something like that, this would have been very quickly forgotten about. But when you look at this and what is here, and then you look at what we got, and you just think to yourself, like, I would rather have this version than the like fully updated, more graphically intensive version than what we got, because this actually looks better, and this looks like it aged better than the game that we had even like 8 years ago, and this is like a 21-year-old fucking game, so it's like, yeah, I don't know about that, Chief. It's weird.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not like Duke Nukem was ever like the cleanest experience. It's kind of the grunge that made it fun.
It
was functional and it was messy.
Well, I'm trying to think, because like when you say that, do you mean like the build quality? Because I actually think that it's a very well built engine.
No, the engine's fine. Okay. I'm just saying it's just kind of more like
Do you just mean like the way the game looks in general? Is that like I'm kind of confused by your comment. That's
I'm
all.
trying to think of the best way to describe it. Yeah, it's kind of more like maybe not even so much the look, probably just more like the level design kind of stuff.
Okay, I kind of understand what you're going for there, but
Because like the setting is like unique, and that's kind of
mhm,
what made it fun, right? Um, and functionally, like it worked well. Like I mean, it was not like a broken game,
yeah.
but it was just I don't know. It was kind of just like shitty Doom with a cool setting.
Oh no, I don't agree with that in the least bit.
Is that a
Absolutely
good?
not. No, I don't think that's a good takeaway. See what
Yeah.
what the build engine what the build engine did, the one that it's built off of, is because like Doom had very little interactability. The build engine was all about interacting with like objects or just in general interacting with the environment, such as like when you think back to like Duke Nukem 3D, you could interact with the pool table and that sort of thing, and that was like revolutionary for the time. But
Really, that
then
was revolutionary. I don't remember that being that exciting. And most of the time, I remember walking around that game, just him mashing against a wall, trying to find a switch where he'd be like, where
That
is it?
sounds like you were playing Doom. That's the wrong game. You're thinking of the absolute wrong game. That is literally not how Duke Nukem works in the least bit. So I think you're getting the two confused actually. Uh,
I
or
don't think
or
so.
maybe you're
I
thinking of
remember.
Quake.
No, I remember Duke Nukem. Like, just I don't know. I don't know. That's what I remember of that game.
Yeah, I don't think you were playing the right game. There's very little actual elements that are like hidden doors that weren't activated in some way using the actual environment, and that goes for like any of the build engine games in general. But the point that I was trying to make about the build engine is it was a engine that then got just completely destroyed once the Half-Life like engine came out. So like it wouldn't have been as interactable, or it would have looked like fucking Babby's first game compared to like the original Half-Life game, for instance,
Well, I
even.
mean, that's fair.
And I think that's why they didn't release the one in 2001 originally. That and the feature creep, which is something that happens now with fucking indie titles on like Kickstarter projects.
It
They
happens
just
with
let so much
everything.
feature creep
Everything,
come in that's
everything
just
can
like
get
okay.
susceptible to feature creep.
Well,
There's just,
yeah.
you know, at some point, a good director's just got to say no. Like, we're done.
Well, that was
This
the
is,
problem. The director didn't. He
yeah.
wanted more features. He wanted to be better than Half-Life, but with the engine he was using, he couldn't be. So instead of just accepting that, he just was like, "All right, we're swapping over to their engine," and which is what threw this entire game out the window.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I just remember I just had the same issue I remember with Duke Nukem that it would say like Doom and like Wolfenstein, where it's just kind of like at some
no,
point you
Duke
just get
Nukem was way more
lost in
advanced
those
than
levels.
Doom and Wolfenstein. Way more advanced.
In some ways. I
No,
don't
no,
know. I
in
don't. I
like
don't remember that pool table
every
thing being
single
that
way, it was
impressive.
way more advanced. I know you're like, so I like grew up on all of these games: the Duke Nukem, the Wolfenstein, the Doom, the Quake 2, Blood,
Hexen.
Hexen's actually a really good game.
Hexen was
Uh,
really good. Hexen,
yeah.
but it's still like Hexen. It's the same thing. I feel like with Duke Nukem though too, where it's
Mhm.
like it's got some really cool concepts, but like I don't. Maybe it's just me. It could just be me, Brandon.
I think you're just
Like
like not remembering things
I
correctly,
just
or like
remember like
you just were like
there were games
not.
that I think I played them more for multiplayer and just maybe
Mhm.
the single player stuff. I just got through a couple levels and I just got bored because it just felt too repetitive.
That's
Maybe
fair.
that's where it was with me. Like I said, I love the setting for Duke Nukem, and I love like just kind of like the character that the game had. I
Mhm.
just don't remember ever being terribly impressed by the actual like the game
It
design
could
for like
also
single
be a
player.
case of like you like thinking of stuff like now as opposed to then, because then the engine that it was using was actually very impressive, again before
Hmm.
Half-Life released. But now you just look back on it and you're like, it's whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't played it since that time either.
Hmm.
I like I said, I do remember having like a great time with those games.
Hmm.
Specifically, especially like multiplayer stuff.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Like I said, that's just what I remember of those games. Nothing.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I was just very confused because you're like, I don't really think it was that good. And like when you started saying it was like Duke Nukem, I mean not Duke Nukem, sorry, Duke Nukem was like Doom. both start with a D. My initial thought was
I
like,
will say,
that doesn't hold up at all.
I mean, like I'll give it to him that it looks the same, so it's easy to maybe confuse.
Yeah, but then
But
you have like
that's at very surface level that they look the same.
Exactly. And then you have things like the camera system that was in Duke Nukem, where like you could look at different parts of the map by looking into the camera. You had all the like
oh yeah,
selectable
that was
things
kind
like
of
the
new.
jetpack.
Yeah.
You had the ability to shrink people with the shrink ray, and they actually like shrunk down into tiny size, and you could kick them with your boot and that sort of deal. Like that kind of thing, and then like the interactable pinball games and slot machines and the pool tables, as opposed to like walking up and hitting a single button or collecting a key card in like Doom. Like that stuff was like
No,
major.
that part of stuff, I mean, yeah, no, I definitely see the differences, what you're talking about there.
Mhm.
That stuff I do remember. And listen, I just don't remember, like, listen, I just don't remember the single player part of Duke Nukem just being that exciting. But like I said, it could just be me.
It is a lot of
You
fun.
are right. Like, the shrinking stuff was cool. But then I also think about stuff where I was like in fucking Hexen, you could turn people into pigs. And that was just way cooler.
That's true. I think in that case, and I actually think Hexen may have also been built off the build engine as well.
I'm
not
pretty sure all
100%
those
sure.
games were like they feel like they were at least. I say that they're pretty sure they were because it's my memory.
No,
But
Hexen was actually the Doom engine, unless we're talking about like one of the later Hexens, maybe.
what about Heretics? Heretic came first,
That's a good question.
or is it the other way around? Am I thinking the wrong direction?
That's a good question. I'm checking. It says Doom engine for Heretic, and it also says it for, you know what? If I look at Doom engine and I look at all the games that are on it, you got Doom, Doom 2, Final Doom, Heretic, Hexen, Strife, Chex Quest. That's a fucking banger right there. Brutal Doom,
Oh,
Bloom. I don't know about this one. Oh, that's the okay. I know what that is. Sigil. Oh yeah, Sigil. That's right. I forgot about that. Neat. Yeah. It may have been the more advanced engine for Heretic and Hexen. Like, I don't know. I actually don't know, but it does say it's the Doom engine for both of those. It says a modified version of the Doom engine. So
interesting. Yeah, and
I always like looking at things like this because I think like seeing like the engines and like the stuff that they used for some of these older games are really interesting because of like what they were able to push. Because sometimes you're just like, wait, that game was on that engine, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and it's interesting too that at least in my memory, those games seem similar enough that I could see them all having run on. I mean, you have a lot of people that are trying to build similar things. Probably part of the reason why Half-Life stood out so much.
Running on 2021. Sorry about that. A really good game. And it's that you can like definitely tell. But like also like I think it ages really well. Like even with like it just looks like an indie title. It doesn't look like an indie title that's literally using an engine from the 90s.
Yeah,
Damn.
I have secret in that room that's like exploding, but I don't know. I've not seen anything.
Apparently there's a Dark Souls Easter egg in it.
Okay.
I saw a single clip of it and I was like, oh, that's really neat. I know how to access it, but I'll leave that to you to figure out. But there's definitely a Dark Souls Easter egg in the game itself. It's really neat. I will give you a hint though. It's when you get the ability to jump is when you can access the Easter egg.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know if I would recognize the Easter egg.
It's very, very obvious.
Oh, okay. I
like
don't know what it is then.
When I say obvious, I mean like, what are the two most obvious things about Dark Souls when you think of Dark Souls?
Die.
Okay. I guess three most obvious things that are like specific to Dark Souls.
Facing the sun. Collecting souls.
Okay.
And dying.
All right.
I mean, he's got it.
He does have it, but the two I would list would be the bonfire and messages left by players.
Too.
Messages left by players, and you could find a message left by a player in the Stanley Parable.
When you're jumping?
Yes. Only in a place that you can access via jumping. And it does kind of have to do with the praise the sun thing you were talking about.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, no, there's some weird, interesting things
in
the game.
Yeah, the Stanley Parable's always been like that. It's really fun.
Yeah. I think you would like the new stuff.
I really want to get it, but like I'm kind of broke right now. Plus, I need to buy a screen protector and a stand for my Steam Deck. So,
Mhm.
so I have to make that the goal right now instead of buying the Stanley Parable, which I really want to get. But it will be on sale for me because I own the other one. So it's like 16.50 no matter what whenever I do have the money. So it's cheaper for me since I bought the original.
Oh, this does say Brandon.
Huh?
You lied to me because I said praise the sun, and this says this is a praise the sun
It is.
thing.
That's why I said technically I changed my comment and I said technically
Okay.
you were right about the praise the sun thing.
Oh, I missed that
So
part. Okay. So I was just like, oh, I'm like, I totally guessed that part.
you did. You're right. Um
Mhm. And I didn't say this either, but Stanley Parable reminded me of a mix of the TV show Severance, which I think we talked about,
you mentioned that.
and it also reminds me of the TV show. Um, I just talked about it too. Russian Dolls.
Okay.
It's
I
kind of
have
like
not seen that one. I really want to see that show. I've been
do you
told
have Netflix?
I do. I've been told to watch it, but I just hadn't
Yeah, no, I
yet.
definitely recommend it. It's that one girl, Natasha something. The first thing I
It's
always
the
think
one
of,
from
I
fucking
always think of American Pie is what I think of first, but I know she's on other things.
no, she's in that women's prison show that's also on Netflix, right?
Oh, Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black. Yeah, she's in
I
that.
don't know. I haven't watched it,
I
but
think so.
I can
Oh,
totally see
that's
it.
a good show. That's actually a really
I've
good
heard it's
show.
really good too. I know DJ really liked it. I never watched it. I didn't have any reason not to. It was just
Mm,
kind of something that was just like everyone's like, it's a good show. I never watched
hmm
it. Russian Dolls is great though. It's like the first season's just like 7 episodes long, and it's kind of like this time traveler paradox thing.
I love
That's
those.
yeah, no, it's wild, and it just
I'm not
it's
even joking. I legitimately do love those. Those are like some of my
yeah, and
favorite
it's
kind
like
of
it's so
shows.
it's so like dark humor too. Like
Hmm.
you'd love it. I don't see any
Nice.
reason why you wouldn't. And it makes me laugh. And the song from that TV show, I use it as my alarm clock every morning,
Okay.
and so it's just like embracing
I
chaos of that show.
see.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, no, definitely recommend it. And if you like those TV shows, you like Stanley Parable. And if you like Stanley Parable, I think you'd like those TV shows. So because Severance is definitely right up there too. That was the one we talked about too. It's like
Yeah, but that's Apple, and I really need to find a way to watch Apple stuff. That's the main takeaway there.
they got the Apple app on your PlayStation.
Yeah, I know, but when I say find a way, I mean like
A
see if
different
there's
way.
a free
I know.
trial or something. No. See if there's a free trial or something.
They
And I think Nick mentioned it
I
I
think
before.
I
mentioned
did.
it. There was a
Or you
while
did.
where if
Okay.
you had PlayStation Plus, they gave away like a 6 month Apple TV trial.
Okay.
I think that promotion has passed, but I
Okay.
mean, I'm sure they probably still do like a 30-day trial. That's
Okay.
standard for most things, you know.
I'll have to look into it.
But the first season of Severance is over and it's fucking wild. Just
Nice.
it's worth it. Just they say the way to do the streaming shows now, and I know we're just getting off course, and we should just wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
And we can after I make this stop. But I just have not been brave enough to do this on streaming services. But they're just like when a good show comes out, cancel all your subs, just sub to whatever show you're watching right now,
Hmm.
cancel it, and then just subscribe to the next one, and just only keep like one each month. Just
Yeah.
kind of rotate them around. It's a smart idea. I have not done that yet.
I
That's
see. Yeah. Streaming's just kind of stupid at this point.
yeah. We've gotten to the
We're more expensive than cable at this point, almost for
the
the.
streaming apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys ready to wrap up? We've been rambling
Yep.
for a while. This is
Yep.
like a
Yep. Yep.
rambling episode.
Yeah, we did ramble. We didn't have much to talk about though, so
No, we didn't. It's
you know.
just not a lot of good stuff. I don't think is there anything exciting even coming out this month?
That's a good question. Give me 1 second. Actually, Nick mentioned Sam Raimi and his favorite thing, Evil Dead from Sam Raimi. There's actually a Evil Dead video game that comes out on the 13th. I don't know how it'll be or if it'll suck dick or what, but yeah, that comes out this month.
Okay.
So there's that.
It does
That
come
I'm
out this
actually
month.
like I'm looking at that like I'm just looking at it like are you going to be a good game? Please be a good game. So that's my thoughts on that one right now. Other than that, a new game did release today called Iluden Chronicles Rising, which I think is a sequel to Suikoden, but it's a like platformer adventure RPG on a 2D plane. It's on Game Pass. I have it downloaded, but I have not played it yet. I'm looking at other upcoming games for this month.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, did you see the game I was talking about now?
No, I just realized that the Evil Dead game is being made by Saber Interactive.
Oh,
and
okay.
Saber Interactive is based in New Jersey.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it was. Now it's in Florida. So fuck them.
Okay.
I don't know which one's worse.
Okay, yeah, looking at other things, Salt and Sacrifice, which is a sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, releases next week. That's pretty cool. Sniper Elite 5, if you like that series. The Quarry, which is that next game by the same people that did like Man of Medan and stuff like that, I believe. Is this? Yeah, this is by Supermassive Games. Wait, no, that's June. What? Why are you listing this as May? You fucking liars.
You liars.
Here, give me the fucking... Okay. That's already out. Why are you listing this? Alright, that's a list. That's a good list. There we go. And looking at this list, there is Evil Dead, which I already mentioned. There's the Vampire the Masquerade game, which is a choose-your-own adventure. That's kind of cool. There is Sniper Elite 5, I already mentioned again. Oh, Pac-Man Museum Plus actually looks pretty cool. And that releases on Game Pass on the 27th, actually. So that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, it's slim pickings here, man. It's nothing this month. This month's not really got anything worth our time, in my opinion. I would recommend checking out that Suikoden, like 2D plane adventure game. That looks really fucking lit. So there's that. But everything else is just like not even games I've heard of or that look interesting. And then the ones that do look good are just like, oh, I'm finally releasing on a different console. Oh shit! Stop the presses. There's a new golf game coming out.
Yeah.
I love golf. Golf Gang. Golf Gang is the name of the golf game. It's a racing game.
Golf Gang?
Yes.
Okay.
It touts itself as the fastest game of mini golf you'll ever play. Blend precision with speed and dominate the green in 8-player online mayhem, or hone your skills in a solo speed run. All right. This looks pretty lit. All right, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. There's nothing this month.
All right. Ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, or our website, game-crunch.com. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us an email, gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
Any final thoughts?
I think this month kind of sucks for games.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. That's my thoughts.
Nick?
I got nothing for you.
All right. Well then. That's it. My name's Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. Clash Penguin on Twitter, your favorite game console. Until next week. Game on.
Game on.
Do you know Apple TV is making a Tetris movie?
No.
Why?
I did not know that.
Yes, they're making a movie about Tetris.
Okay.
In this climate against Russia? No, thank you.
Oh, that's actually a very good point.
That's true too. I guess like so. The synopsis is actually it's about like the licensing deal, which is totally wild. I don't know if
That's
you guys
a
saw
lot to do with Russia. That's why I said that's actually a really good point.
It's funny because I was at my parents' house over the weekend for Mother's Day. My mom was like, "Oh, we should have Moscow mules." I was like, "No, we drink Ukrainian mules in this house now."
No, you gotta do like what they do with French fries. You gotta change like the
freedom fries, freedom mules.
So, but you gotta make it so it's something with M that sounds nice.
Montana mules.
My freedom mule.
My freedom mules.
What about America mules?
America
you guys missed it. It was right there.
I can do. I can be double topical and call them musk mules.